bro. It's nothing you can say. Like I said, I brought Ant on, I brought him around. And yes, he did call me and bring me around Aiden. Yes, he did. That's a true fact.
Aiden finally live again.
Like a brother, bro. I was there for his incidents when things happened in his family. I was there for him, bro, and he was there for me. I'm not gonna lie about that. You know what I'm saying? The dudes looked out for me a few times.
Yeah, from some clips today.
I didn't cross him up. Aiden's right here, bro. I never crossed him up. I never went behind his back. I never said nothing about you, bro. I never said nothing bad about you to Aiden. I never asked Aiden for anything. Aiden's always offered and given to us, and always, bro. And you're the one who, you know what I'm saying, just turned. I don't even know what you turned into, bro. Highly disappointed in you, though, man. You know what I'm saying? This right here just lets me know that you and I, we over, bros. When I see you, my nigga,
I'm on Ascendant age now. I just switched to it.
Let another nigga talk for you. Just be ready to stand on it, man. Real spill, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Change my title.
Got me upset with you, homie. You know what I mean? And like I say, men don't even talk like that. Not men. Real spill, dog. You know, my city gonna see. My
Did he
city
show
gonna
the
see this.
permits on
the
camera?
They just seen it in
He
the
handed
play
it to
again.
this guy.
Cause look, but man, Ed got some shit coming in Atlanta soon though. You gonna get a lot of that shit you want to know about. No, look, Ed, a lot of that shit. No, listen, Ed, cause according to Aiden, bro, you suing him. That's cap. Come on, Ed. Come on, no. He working, bro. He don't want to.
I was like, I'm sitting lower.
Come on, you went to school, bro. Flop. According to Aiden, bro, you were.
So Will says he's willing to fight both of them and this guy on the same day.
Ain't nothing about us, bro.
I ain't gonna need a lie. If we ain't them see this, hey man, get that
I'm
little
rocking
old
with
man
the
Will
big
away
dog.
from him, man. I heard my people told me he a big old punk, and he's not plugged with nobody or anything.
I need to make some food though.
I'm knowing people like me and certain other niggas.
I was gonna make it earlier,
He's
but
a new bodyguard.
I had to delay stream.
I didn't like how he talked, cause
Nigga,
the mom shit is crazy.
Yeah, ain't nothing new about me, pussy. And second of all, because I'm being a professional and being courteous towards his mom, I'm sucking up to her. If that's what you want to call it, my nigga, so be it. You know what I mean? So be it. You know, shit, yeah. I love moms. I love pops. You know what I mean? You know, as a bodyguard and you around these guys and you around their family, you should be a professional. You should ask them if they need anything. You know what I mean? Or take them to where they're supposed to go. That's what you do. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to be sitting around like you're a goddamn movie star, man. Thinking motherfuckers are supposed to drive you around. Shit. You supposed to put in the work. These niggas crazy.
Jealous hearts, my boy.
Show your BBL, Ant.
Oh fuck.
You know. Show your BBL, man. Shit. You know, y'all niggas get BBL. That fat ass nigga talking should get one. That nigga looks so horrible. Damn, he looks so hard. Nigga, you look terrible. You look terrible, my nigga. Sitting out there running all that shit, bro. You look terrible, nigga.
Oh, I need to go chill.
Nigga, stop. Shit. Since you getting money, get you a BBL, nigga. Get you a BBL too. Shit crazy. Shit crazy, bro. Look, man, listen. I ain't done nothing but babysit Ant, bro.
He just told him to get a BBL.
Snatches on. I babysitted. Aiden was like, man, look, I ain't gonna send him home. Nigga, I'm wheeling this nigga around, taking him to the doctor's appointment. These niggas trying to call him a goddamn fiend because they ain't want to put him on no payment. He's whining every fucking day, bro. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Somebody get his nigga pacified. Then that shit went on, you know what I'm saying? Before that, I had to babysit him again when he got his BBL. Like, the nigga was bleeding and leaking everywhere. wrap this nigga up, man. Like, man, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, damn, I thought we hit a bodyguard, nigga. Man.
All the cars,
You
nigga.
know?
Fuck all that, nigga. We BPN everything.
Yeah.
Fuck all that.
Oh man, bro, listen, man. Like, I can't even believe I'm doing all this shit, nigga. Let's just lock it on in, bro. Let's just lock up, bro. You know, these are truths, people. I'm not lying on these people. Real spill, bro. I ain't lying on them. You know, it is what it is, man. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you the motherfucker who sold out on us, man. Sold out on Aiden, sold out on me, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then you continue to spread lies talking about me, man. I stabbed you in the back. Right.
Oh yeah, more collectible pets updates right
I
now.
had this back from day one, bro. Day one. Brought you around everybody, bro. Brought you into this shit. You know? And how y'all niggas goddamn let that nigga cut truck out of his.
They were complaining about Nathan getting permabanned from Twitch, showing a gun, but it was actually just a toy gun. I saw it on his stream, posted from his Discord. It is funny though. I got banned for that. Okay, before I do that, I'm gonna do my collectible pets update. Alright, so I'm on Ascendant. Wait, I just got a Moonlight Hunter right now? I barely started this 10 minutes ago. So overnight, I got the shiny right here. And then I just got a Moonlight Hunter. I didn't add anything to this percentage on Mythical. So I might have to roll Metallics again. I don't know. I'll probably just get my full team first. And then maybe one more shiny. And then roll the rest of my Metallics. I was starting to clean up my commons. It's pretty much it. Well, I finished up the legendaries. That wasn't too crazy. And then I got all my giant prods right here. I kind of skipped over the legendary because I wanted a full prod team. And then to probably also get a shiny prod instead of a shiny legendary. Because the chances to get a giant were the same, so I decided just to risk it for the prod. And it paid off. Okay, so the new update. As usual, I guess the new map is probably going to be called Volcano or Mine or something, because there's going to be a dragon above this area. You'll be able to see it from a mountain. This is the entrance to it. And that cave, it might just be upgrades. I think that's where he's gonna have the double strike luck chance upgrade over in here. And I think that's where generation speed is too. I forgot. Well, those names people were guessing for the exotic crystal stuff were correct. So the dragon's gonna be up here. Okay, so there is another rebirth cave coming. And it's gonna be probably a second floor through here. And he might have it extend past the automation station to back behind forests and desert. See, it stops right here, so you might have the rebirth, new rebirth cave up here near forest and desert. And in that rebirth cave, it's gonna look kind of like this. gonna be a bit more like this. It's gonna have the same altar, but instead of turning in mythic stones, you turn in exotic crystal score. Oh my god. What a whole. Okay, stupid train of events. My god. Okay. New update. Exotic crystal is going to be like this. Instead of turning in mythic stones, you turn in exotic crystal score. Your current score will be this. This will be your permanent score. It'll show behind the altar. And then your current score is whatever you get after the update. So pre-forming this doesn't even make any sense. Even though Tuzu tells you to do it. There's no point because there's going to be an upgrade to the left of there. It's going to be on a wall. It's going to say exotic crystal score multiplier. And it's going to be X. Maybe you start out at 1. And then it quickly goes up to 3x exotic crystal score multiplier. So every, let's say you break a red, you get 100 from that. Instead of getting 100, you get 300 score. So there's no point in pre-farming the score unless there's a upgrade where you require to have a permanent score 1 billion before you buy it. But I doubt that's going to be there. Okay, and aside from the altar and the crystal score multiplier, there's going to be fairy butterflies. And they're standing at pedestals, and it's like 3 rows of them. So there's going to be this pedestal with a butterfly, and it's going to have a name. It's going to cost a certain amount of crystal score to unlock it, and you probably get 5% egg lick. Next tier is another fairy with a different name. And that one, you buy, let's say, 100 million worth of exotic crystal score. It's going to give you 10% egg lick. And then the last tier, actually, this is going to be 25%. Let's just say it's this. It'd be 25% egg lick, and then the last tier probably be 50% egg lick with another fairy with a different name in pink, corresponding to this. And that will be your last tier for that section. So there's going to be another couple sets of pedestals just like that, where you advance towards the wall and you get better upgrades. So those will probably be like giant luck, shiny giant luck, maybe a metallic luck, egg luck obviously. So I don't think the rebirth cave is going to be that big, but it's probably going to cost a lot to get those upgrades. Aside from that, you're going to go over to the volcano map or whatever it's going to be called. It's probably going to look a lot like this mine map because it has upgrade carts and the crystals in there. It'll probably also have an upgrade that you unlock to spawn exotic crystals in these higher level areas. Because right now they're disabled in mine. So you go in here, and then you would go up to your double strike luck cart, and then keep upgrading from there. I think so far what's confirmed is it's going to be a new stone, a shiny mythic stone. So I think it's just going to be whatever you generate on this bottom bar. For every, I'm waiting until one pops up. For every shiny mythical that pops up, you get over on this side. It'll be a purple mythic stone, and with extra calcify luck, you might get 3 of them at the same time. And then if your clone luck is maxed out, you could get like 5 of them, so it's like 15 shiny mythic stones. Use those mythic stones to buy the double strike click upgrades with the shiny mythic stones. Will probably be like 1,000 mythic stones to get the first one, and so on. Or maybe 100, 1,000, and then from that, it probably matches the same quantity that you need for this card, anyways. Alright, that's so far everything for the new update. It's gonna probably start on the 31st. What day is that? So Wednesday? No, it'll probably, the later birds will be locked on that Wednesday, the 31st, and then on Friday the new update will kick in with a double gold EXP. I mean double gold weekend. And that's everything for the new update. Put that.
Was a trap. Now, do I know this is true? Of course I do not. But the thing about the way science works is that...
Yeah, science.
My hypothesis...
This is the all roads lead to Rome. Where's Biden? I don't know. He must be dead. Why would you assume he's dead? Because he's not on TV. Okay. Oh look, he came out of TV the next he's on TV. He's got pictures to say. That's because they psyoped us to thinking he was dead. What do they do to lead you to believe that he's dead? Well, he didn't appear on TV for a day, and he published that thing on Twitter, and he didn't have like a TV performance about it. Like, okay. Jesus Christ.
That'd be crazy if he died. That's why he stepped down. Was on his deathbed. I doubt it. Unless he got that sick from COVID. Then...
Oh my God. Are these pictures?
Plausible, I guess, kind of, but they don't have any proof yet. But also, wasn't Eleanor Roosevelt running the country for a year or something like that when FDR died? Who knows? We'll find out soon.
Let's see. Cassidy Hutchinson. Special assistant to the president. Okay. I heard that there was a I heard that there was a story that that a cleaning lady or somebody went into the office when the Oval Office after Trump had lost some court case or whatever, and that when they went in there was like a plate on the wall that like Trump had like thrown his shit. Wouldn't you know this? Am I making this up?
Which court case would that be? He'd still be in the office?
Okay.
Would that be the impeachment trial?
Ms. Hutchinson, how did the president react to hearing that news?
Around the time that I understand the AP article went live, I remember hearing noise coming from down the hallway, so I poked my head out of the office, and I saw the valet walking towards our office. He had said, "Get the chief down to the dining room, the president wants him." So Mark went down to the dining room and came back to the office a few minutes later. After Mark had returned, I left the office and went down to the dining room, and I noticed that the door was propped open and the valet was inside the dining room changing the tablecloth off of the dining room table. He motioned for me to come in and then pointed towards the front of the room near the fireplace mantle and the TV, where I first noticed there was ketchup dripping down the wall and there's a shattered porcelain plate on the floor.
Oh no.
The valet had articulated that the president was extremely
He's uploading right now.
at the Attorney General's AP interview.
That's what's lagging. I need to go get my
and
food. I
had
forgot
thrown
about it.
his lunch against the wall,
His lunch.
which
The
was
ketchup. Oh
causing me to have
no.
to clean up. So I grabbed a towel and started wiping the ketchup off. of the
God
help the valet out.
damn.
And he said something to the effect of, "He's really ticked off about this."
The Oval Office will
I
never be
was
the
so
same
clear
again.
of him. He's really, really ticked off about this right now.
Fucking thing sucks.
And Ms. Hutchinson, was this the only instance that you are aware of where the president threw dishes?
It's not.
And are there other instances in the dining room that you recall where he expressed his anger?
There were several times throughout my tenure with the Chief of Staff that I was aware of him either throwing dishes or flipping the tablecloth to let all the contents of the table go onto the floor and likely break or go everywhere.
And Ms. Hutchinson, Attorney General Barr described to the committee the president's angry reaction when he finally met with President Trump. Let's listen.
And I said, look, I know that you're dissatisfied with me, and I'm glad to offer my resignation. And he pounded the table very hard. Everyone sort of jumped, and he said, accept it.
Jesus. Okay. Make sure I wasn't practicing table magic tricks. True. She also recalled a meeting that took place in or before mid-December, during which this view was relayed to Giuliani and members of his team by lawyers in the White House counsel's office. By December 11th, Finlay emailed his main points of contact in 6 battleground states to say, "Thank you for your work on the Presidential Elector Project. And in order to pass off his responsibilities, let them know that Rudy's team has designated Kenneth Chesebro as the point person for the legal documents going forward." While the campaign's core legal team stepped back from the fake elector effort on December 11th, it nonetheless went forward because Rudy was in charge of it, and this is what he wanted to do, according to Finlay. When Finlay was asked if this decision to let the effort proceed under Giuliani's direction was coming from your client, the president, Finlay responded, "Yes, I believe so. I mean, he had made it clear that Rudy was in charge of this and that Rudy was executing what he wanted." Finlay also recalled being told that Chesebro's elector memos had become the justification for why Rudy and Ken were going to keep going forward with this stuff. He explained that Giuliani really bought into Ken's theory on this, and that the two of them were kind of the main ones driving this from that point forward. Clark told the Select Committee that my understanding of who was driving the process was Mayor Giuliani and his team, December 10th, when Kenneth Chesebro emailed one of the state party officials involved in organizing the fake elector effort in Nevada, and reported that I spoke this evening with Mayor Giuliani, who is focused on doing everything possible to ensure that all the Trump-Pence electors vote on December 14th. The days that followed the handoff, Chesebro would draft and distribute documents intended for use in the Trump team's fake elector ceremonies that were then shared with key contacts in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. He also gave some of the groups step-by-step logistical guidance, such as when and where they should convene. Wait, what are these things? Okay, 64 through 70. Document on file with the Select Committee to investigate the document on file. Document on file. Supporting, okay. Court, documents on file. Production? David, wait. documents on file. Okay. JF49. JF049. Next. JF40. Wait, JF. What was it? Oh my god. 049. This. Control F. JF049. Oh wait, well, whatever. Here we go. 61. What are these? Attached are the documents you requested. I added the new qualifying language at the start of the certificate. Might be good to have it added. Main issue presented by New Mexico is that electors are supposed to meet inside the Secretary of State's office. Perhaps as in Nevada, not an essential requirement to get the context. Hi all, thank you for working on the Presidential Electorate Project. Rudy is designated this guy, we saw that. Here's a memorandum of these. We already actually read this exact memo. Boom, boom, boom. Jesus. Wait, what is this email? Where's the reference to this thing? And we will see whether Mike Pence enters history as a truly great and courageous leader. All he has to do is refer the illegally submitted electoral votes back to the states that were given false and fraudulent information, where they want to recertify. This was from Ross Worthington. Okay, Jesus. Okay. I'm not gonna start reading every document here. Campaign operative named Michael Roman was also tapped for a major operational role in the fake elector effort when Finlay sent his email handing off certain responsibilities for the initiative. He also wrote the Giuliani's team and citing Roman as the leading executive, blah, blah, blah. With help from the EDO staff, as well as Giuliani's team and RNC. I don't think we need any of this. Okay. We have this. This is fine. Okay, coup memos from Eastman. It'd be nice to see those memos, just to have that posted, and then we can get to the pressuring of Mike Pence, the pressuring of the acting attorney general. We already have the Raffensperger call. And then we go to the actual events of J6 itself, and then we're done with this bullshit.
Is he making a whole timeline? He's still doing it. Probably gonna publish it soon. Next month.
Some of the proposed fake electors expressed concerns about the plan. The Trump's team's fake electors plan raised concerns not just for several senior officials, but also for some of the Republican activists being recruited to be the fake electors. Finlay told the select committee that there were definitely electors in probably most of the states that had concerns about the process. After being tasked with reaching out to the potential fake electors, Finlay notified his colleagues on December 10th that a lot of questions are arising from them. He also noted that an RNC staffer, seconded to the Trump Victory Committee, requested a call with the PA electors and their leadership to address concerns which may be necessary to get people to appear. The Republican Party of Pennsylvania's general counsel relayed several specific concerns to the Trump campaign via email on December 13th, warning that we're getting calls from electors, from concerned electors. He elaborated as follows. I'm told that on the call with the electors, they were told that the ballot form would be conditioned upon ultimate certification by the governor, indemnification by the campaign if someone gets sued or worse, charged with something by the AG or someone else, and the receipt by the electors of a legal opinion by a national firm and certified to be accurate by a Pennsylvania lawyer. Damn, who are the elector people? This is a very smart concern. So they were saying that, so some of the electors were saying, listen, we need confirmation from the governor that these are legitimate. We need indemnification by the campaign, meaning you agree to indemnify us or not hold us legally responsible. Shit gets fucked. We want indemnity. If we get sued, it's on you. And then they wanted receipt of a legal opinion by some national firm to go over things, and they wanted...
Blah, blah, blah. I guess he's playing Travis some other time.
The building. What do you not understand? Oh.
I need an adult. I need an adult.
I started playing Knights of the Old Republic again. And I thought it was so easy to die that first playthrough. And it does have an autosave, but it doesn't autosave that often. And that's what really put me off to it and starting it up again, but I just figured the way the game engine works and how combat starts. And just had a save profile around it. I think the MMO, the Old Republic, is slightly better, but I got stuck on that one mission where you go back to Zash and you need to leave your companion behind, but it doesn't tell you how to do that. So, listen, screw it, I'm not playing this stupid MMO anymore. And I probably need to get a new computer soon because my RAM is really not behaving well anymore. I think it's just one dead stick. Or a corrupted stick that's making me crash. I doubt I'm gonna get a new one anytime soon though. I'll probably just have to live with it for another couple of years. Unless I'm not, I stop being lazy and find out which stick it is and just order another stick. Oh my god, my team's dying so fast.
Go to the liquor store. And come back. I'll probably stream in like a couple weeks or something from now. I'm gonna take a couple weeks off, I think.
Why?
A couple weeks.
An anti-gay activist also telling us his side of the story. Good morning. Hello and welcome back. This morning we're...
I'll take half of that.
I'll
take half of that
in Uganda.
I'll fly right now.
People should not be
Only 257 viewers on half of the voices.
I'll be like, we live, let's go.
Speaker of Parliament Rebecca Kadaga promised that
Jesus
this will be a
Christ,
Christmas gift to Ugandans. The fundamental question is, should homosexuals be given attention in Uganda? Before we proceed with
Bro, imagine saying that in the United States.
Pepe Julian Onzima, a sexual minorities activist. Would that be appropriate? Human rights defender. Well, we have Pastor Semper online.
What did he say?
A sexual minorities activist.
Sexual minorities activist.
Would that be appropriate? Human rights defender. Well, we have Pastor
crazy.
Semper online, an anti-gay activist, to tell us his side of the story. Hello, Pastor.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Good to have you online. How are you today?
I am doing well. First, I'm really extremely distressed that we are not having the anti-sodomy bill passed in Parliament. We have been promised that it will be passed by Christmas. Second, we are under tremendous attacks. People who are funding these groups, such as this daughter of ours, Pepe, and so much money is being powered into the country.
Pepe is a man.
Unfortunately, Pepe is a young woman who is suffering from gender identity disorder. She is a girl who has been misled and confused to think she's a man. And so you can see the way she's dressing, the way she's coming across. He's trying to be a man. But you know, Pepe, for me as a psychologist, I know that there are people, we have so many young girls who suffer from this. It is a disorder, and some of these people, they press their breasts, or they go and get their breasts cut off, they cut their hair, then you end up with a pretty-looking young lady who is acting like a man. So what they need, these are people who are suffering from mental disorder. They need psychological, psychiatric.
Bro, she's just there taking it. God damn, bro. This dude is going crazy.
Physical and spiritual help, and the department Butabika for people like this one, so that they can be helped to come out of their madness.
Pastor.
Yes.
Why don't you sympathize with such people who do not opt, but who are naturally, according to Onzima, he feels it's a natural calling for them to be men, or for him to be what he is now?
There is nothing natural about using boya and biringanya in your private parts. There is nothing natural about putting a man's genital inside another man's excretory system. There is nothing natural about Onzima be denying us a chance to have children and grandchildren. There is nothing natural at all about sodomy. It is a genocide, and when you add sodomy to HIV, you come up with a black genocide of Africans. There is nothing natural. This is a boy, this is a girl trying to act like a boy. But you know, a trouser does not make you a man.
Pastor!
And you know, using...
Okay, well, genocide's a weird term to use right there. But I guess this is a norm.
They have done. If you take this girl on Zima, when you check her, she may be suffering from the same issues. I've been in Mulago all this time. I have little boys who are wearing diapers. But you know,
just wait.
Because they wear these nice clothes, you don't know what is going on.
Pastor, now let's hear from Onzima. Pastor, excuse me, Pastor.
These people are sick. They need, not only do they need our sympathy,
Pastor, can
they
I
need
ask
us
you to
to
stay
guide
online?
them.
Can I ask you to stay online? Then we hear from Onzima. Onzima, could you react to Pastor Sempa?
No, I will
sounds
not.
Very abrasive.
I will not. I choose not to react and give Sempa audience. I am not going to react to what he's saying.
Please, you see, she's afraid of the truth.
Do you feel offended?
The truth is, this is a young woman who is confused to think that she's
Pastor,
a boy.
why don't you sound sympathetic to a man who seems to be going through a transition of sorts?
What is their name in Uganda? Like this one, she says she's intersex. What is that in Uganda? Mukazi Musajja, because for me as a pastor, I also know that people are oppressed by demons. A demon comes and sits on them. Muzimu kujja ne guwambala ne gumugamba nti kati gwe omukazi oli musajja.
What do you say?
So no, the people are oppressed by demons. A demon comes and sits on them. Muzimu kujja ne guwambala ne gumugamba nti kati gwe omukazi oli musajja.
Oh, he's not speaking English.
Omusajja oli mukazi. Kati ono waliwo omuzimu ogujja ne gumutuulako ne gumugamba nti oli muki oli musajja. We have these issues, and if I can get a chance to put on Zima, I will.
Oh, sorry, we lost you along the way. On Zima.
They definitely hung up on him. They definitely hung up on that man.
I realize you're offended by the pastor's statement, and it's not the first time that he's making such reactions to your cause. Do you really feel your cause is necessary in the world?
It's absolutely necessary, and
yo, it's crazy, guys. We need to kind of curate when we stream. Like, we kind of need to curate what we begin to start watching first, because it kind of sets the tone of, unless we throw a couple curveballs, it sets the tone of what we're gonna watch. Because I think the only reason we're watching this right now is because the whole Ava Chris situation. I think this is the only reason we're watching this right now, is because we started off with the Chris Ava whole Mr. Beast thing. So like we kind of need a I just peeked that real quick. And we need to come out with a streaming schedule.
The allegations that the pastor is making. That's what I was saying.
Why are you so gay?
To that, because he's already misled so many people, and I'm a bit disappointed that he came onto this show. But also, for the sake of debate, maybe it gives me an opportunity to put something right, and that's the mix. The misinformation about sexual violence and sexual orientation. Sodomy, they keep saying sodomy, sodomy, sodomy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sodomy is one of the contents, or is one of, yes, it's one of the contents of homosexuality.
Sodomy, as it is normally a description of sexual violence, canon knowledge of same-sex.
We are eating oats, yeah.
Or canon knowledge. In most cases, it's anal sex that is referred to. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And I told you earlier.
Sodomy is anal sex?
There are people who do not even practice. They're homosexual. I
already hit up
They have a different sexual orientation to the one
I'm just waiting for him to hit me
is
back.
popularly promoted. And not everyone practices this. And the whole promotion of this propaganda of
how do you feel when two men go to bed and start romancing? How do you feel?
That is none of my business. What they do in their privacy is none of my business. What I do is respect people as they are, and I'm even respectful enough to try and create awareness about this confusion that the pastor is making about sexual violence and sexual orientation. He's talking about people who have diapers and so on. There's so many people who have practiced and they are not. And I'm really disheartened that the pastor keeps parading around people's children, claiming they have been sexually violated by homosexuals. There's this whole notion that homosexuals are pedophiles, they are sexual predators, and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what experience has revealed.
No. There are so many heterosexual people who abuse heterosexual people who there's so many reports of defilement, some in our neighborhood that do not make it to the papers. Why I feel
Isn't there another interview?
Right.
Just listen.
Guys,
I need to.
We can't let's not dilly dally around everything. I just want to kind of watch this one. I see somebody posted this, bro. I remember seeing this clip. I didn't know this was a full-blown interview.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pastor Dr. Martin Semper. I'm here in the capacity as the chairman of.
Wait, is this still back in 2017?
To know what homosexuals do in the privacy of their bedroom.
Bro.
It's more like 2016.
To put this correct, there's a lot of molestation of girls.
Speaking of which,
I'm 100% deleting this VOD. This is just like.
Yes, and we have an act that protects or can be used to prosecute such people. And just for the pastor and his clique or his group.
Questi 2016, se si gana bene.
Holy!
Nkumaji found your Ghana number one. Paradise.
Yep, that's all you need to know.
To male, as long as it is violence against somebody,
Now, Pepe,
it is strictly
do you agree that to some people this gay orientation is a disorder and they need correction?
Calling her Pepe is still crazy to me, bro.
Violence against somebody,
Now, Pepe,
it is strictly
do you agree that to some people this gay orientation is a disorder and they need correction?
Thank you. That is what people think because the public has been misinformed about who we are. If you take time and actually spend time with a gay person, you realize that all these things that you think about gay people are not true. They are not true. And the people who are trying to...
Bro, I know mad gay people. I know gay bitches. I know gay guys. All the gay people I know are all super cool, bro. It's gonna sound crazy. It's gonna sound crazy, bro. All the gay dudes, gay chicks that I know that are obviously out and they say they're gay, not the people that I know are gay and they say, oh no, I'm not gay. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people that actually say, hey, no, I'm gay. Those people are super fucking... All the people I know are cool as fuck.
Who are constantly promoting these anti-gay sentiments within
Oh, he's talking about ICE and the EBZ. Okay, gotcha.
Because they do not want you to talk to us. They do not want you to have this kind
Oh
of
wait, he's
dialogue.
not talking about ICE and EBZ.
To know that we actually make good friends, that we're actually good children of our parents. They do not want you to see that part.
Do you feel normal?
I am absolutely normal.
Bro, who at this station gave him these questions? Who gave him these questions, bro?
Parents, they do not want you to see that part.
Do you feel normal?
I am absolutely normal. I am absolutely normal. I smile, I laugh, I fall sick, I get well, I seek
You
help.
exercise conjugal rights, do you?
I told you earlier on, I am not. But I do. I have, and I will when I choose to, yes.
How will you do it?
You might as well put destiny in there.
What do you mean nature cannot allow me? I am attracted to someone sexually. That is nature allowing me.
Why do you recruit young boys and girls into this gay activism?
That's Andrew Tate on the right.
There is no such thing as recruitment of young people or adults or anything like that. What is recruitment, first of all? When you ask me about recruitment, what do you mean by recruitment?
I mean, trying to put them into your system, teaching them what to do, how to go about it.
We do not do that.
What are you watching, Moises? Sagittarius. We started seeing this shit because of fucking...
What has been happening is since...
Because we started going down a Chris Abel fucking rabbit hole.
There's so many people who have been, contacting us, seeking help. We've
God, I need to take a piss, but...
Okay. Before we proceed, let's take another caller from, rather Pastor Sempa is back online for just a couple of minutes.
Simon,
for just a couple of minutes.
Simon.
Hello,
Simon.
Pastor.
It's trolling.
Oh my God, it's the same dude. Hold on, let me take a quick piss.
No, I won't let you.
exist, but never really seemed to matter that much. At least not to me.
Being a white, straight, cisgender man is the top of the pile.
I'm on the top of the pile. That's me. Am I racist?
I would really appreciate it if you left.
I'm trying to learn. I'm on this journey.
Can you please leave?
I'm going to sort this out. I need to go deeper undercover.
He's jacking off.
He's gonna do blackface. Oh fuck, never mind.
What is racism?
Martin Luther King said not to judge people by the...
Martin Luther King said a lot of stuff.
Is America inherent?
He said a lot of
What the hell is that?
The word inherent is challenging there. America is racist to its bones. All of the...
So inherent.
Yeah. The entire system has to burn. And I'm not going to even use save this country. This country is not worth saving. This country is a piece of shit.
Oh, sorry.
Oh god.
Sorry.
They gonna say I'm racist. Joining us now is Matt, certified DEI expert.
Here's my certification. Where are you guys in your anti-racist journeys? So I'll look around the room and point to who we believe is the most racist person in the room. We want to rename George Washington to the George Floyd monument. Would you mind signing it, if you will? What do you think about this issue of heteronormativity and how it intersects with the broader structures of racism in society? What's up with white people?
He needs to turn off the Borat meter.
To decenter.
A lot of people don't know about that right now. He just needs to turn up the Borat a little bit more.
White.
Folks,
White.
trash. White supremacy. White woman. White boy. White entitlement. White. Centering. White silence.
Is there a black person around here?
What's a black person right here? Does he not exist?
Okay.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. And what's your name?
I'm Matt.
Matt. Hi, Matt.
Nice to meet you.
Just had to ask who you are because you have to be careful.
Never be too careful.
They gonna say you racist, but they call everybody racist.
That's Robin DeAndre.
That is Robin.
That is the head of the anti-racist movement.
That's her.
How did you get her?
Can't reveal our secret.
Absolutely. So they don't actually have Eastman's memos even in the J6 committee report?
I think that's why Crowder took off so hard. It's because he turned up the Borat meter. Now he's just lame again. So. Ever since he went full time, yeah, this is really not funny. He needs to trim down a lot. I don't know why he does streams. It's crazy. It's too much. Football.
What do we got in here?
I need to do my dailies.
Highland Kids Muay Thai. All right. How do you open a link? Fuck. How do you click it? What do we got?
What the?
That guy's not Thai. Those people don't look Thai. The guy looks like a little Mexican bitch. Oh yeah, Thai people really do start this early, bro. This is not a joke. Muay Thai, they start
Goddamn bullet squirt over
younger
here.
than any other mixed martial art.
Speaking of which, I need to rewatch that movie. I haven't seen that since I was like a child. This kid's age.
Blue's getting rocked. He's crying like a retard. Get fucking owned, you fucking dumb little bitch. Yeah,
Is he
Muay Thai's
crying?
not so cool anymore, is it? You fucking idiot. Got fucking rocked, pussy. Yeah, cry, you little bitch. This kid just fucking owned him, man. Oh, left that motherfucker crying. Get shit on, nerd. Alright, cheers, Frank. Every game we played Spark calls. Chad, is this your day? Is this your day? For $60, then we have $4. Now that's fucking awesome. Croco 1305.
4 hours ago, new Star Talk.
Yes, but if someone was arguing on Twitter, they're also probably the retards who say, not my president. Who fucking knows how bad it would go this week?
Yeah, I'm
just hopping in Destiny, while people go in and out. I'm not in his Discord.
Got some new videos.
Deadpool's roommate lying down. I can't see him, but Lord, can I smell him?
Okay. I think Marvel writing did start with Ryan Reynolds. And that's why all the movies are cringe now. Because I saw Blade recently, 2 and 3. Or is he in 3? Right, yeah. And that writing is very much like him, and I think they just all copied his writing style now. Just not that funny.
I have an ace up my sleeve. Old Spice Total Body. It fights stank 24/7. Keeping him fresh everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Did I tell you to stop?
Los Angeles. We're into it. We're into LA's next generation. So we're bringing our financial tools into schools and serving up real-world skills to students.
Schrodinger's cat. Everything in the box, the air, the light, everything moving around in the background interacts differently with the awake cat running around trying to get out and the asleep cat just snoring peacefully on the ground.
Is there a world where I open the box and I see the awake cat as a different world from the one in which I open the box and it's asleep?
There will be 2 worlds, and it happens long before you open the box, because as soon as the other stuff in the box, as soon as the photons and the atoms and everything become
The cat's name is Cthulhu.
There's 2 worlds.
So where are
And
those 2
who
worlds?
is his master's name?
That's the wrong question. The worlds are not located in space. Space is located in each world. Holy crap. I gotta go.
I don't believe we can make it anymore. It's over.
Chuck Nice is so cringe.
There is no God. Oh no.
I get the point of it, but it's still cringe.
Neil deGrasse Tyson here, your personal astrophysicist. With me, Chuck Nice. Chuck.
Hey, Neil.
Hey.
What's happening?
All right, what are you holding in your hand here?
A little book.
Oh, okay.
A book that I, picked up off of the coffee table.
The biggest ideas in the universe. Well, that's what this episode is going to be about.
Yes.
But I know some big ideas, right? But I don't know the biggest ideas. There's a "the" in the front of this title.
Right.
And
like a wildfire.
Yeah, so this is written by the one and only Sean Carroll. Sean, welcome to my office.
Thank you so much. New York, your office, these are the best places, most exciting places that I know.
We have corresponded and emailed and talked, and we've never been in the same space.
No, I think we did in LA once, right?
Was there?
I think briefly, very, very briefly.
Okay.
But yeah, many phone calls, many emails.
Delighted to have a meaningful exchange with you at this point.
Right, with microphones in front of us. Cameras trained. Meaningful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so just before we delve in, which Sean Carroll are you?
I'm the physicist one.
The physicist Sean Carroll.
Yes.
And the other Sean Carroll is who?
My evil twin. He has beards. You know which one is the evil twin.
But is it like is it a?
It's not quite as evil. It's more like bushy Santa Claus.
Is it a Van Dyke?
Like, but he's a very accomplished biologist. Also writes books. You should buy those too.
Okay.
Very nice.
All right. Very good. So, Sean Carroll, let me get your bio going here. The Homewood Professor of Natural Philosophy. Ooh, that's very retro.
That is.
Yes.
Oh, man, just like Newton.
I was going to say, yeah.
Good Bike had some title like that. Natural Philosophy at the Johns Hopkins University.
Wait a minute, is he a natural-born philosopher?
Your bio going here. The Homewood Professor of Natural Philosophy. Ooh, that's very retro.
That is.
Yes.
Oh, man, just like Newton.
I was going to say, yeah.
Good Bike had some title like that. Natural Philosophy at the Johns Hopkins University down in Baltimore, which is the home of the headquarters of the Hubble Space Telescope. The Space Telescope Science Institute. It is right there. Cool. And you're also on the faculty at the Santa Fe Institute, but you're only on a visiting faculty, so they got really cute here. Fractal faculty.
You got pretty cute.
And you get cuter. You can't get cuter than that.
No, you can't. I mean, unless there are a bunch of Sean Carrolls who are tinier and look exactly like Sean Carroll.
To continue the fractal.
To continue the fractal. Right.
Move on in.
Sean Carroll at all scales.
Right, exactly.
Frightening.
And your research areas got the quantum physics, space-time, cosmology, emergence. I love emergence. Maybe we can hit on that. Entropy. I've seen a lot of that lately. Can you do something about entropy? If you can't do anything about it, you have nothing for us.
I can increase it.
We can do that without you, I think. Dark energy, symmetry, and origins of the universe. You're all in. You got a podcast of your own, Mindscape. I think I've been on that. Have I been on that podcast?
No,
once?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
We'll see.
Well, maybe my
cards, right?
it's in my inbox. Maybe I haven't gotten to it yet. And this latest book, The Biggest Ideas in the Universe, the second in a trilogy. This one, Quanta and Fields.
Quanta? Well, wouldn't that be the smallest idea in the universe?
The smallest thing can be the biggest idea.
Oh dear. Snap.
You got to put Chuck in his place early.
I know.
Otherwise, he'll just run ramshot all over you. Yeah, he got you on that one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He got you. So if this is a trilogy, the first big ideas book was what?
It was called Space, Time, and Motion, which is like publisher speak for classical physics.
Right. Regular, ordinary, armchair physics.
Isaac Newton physics.
Yeah, Isaac Newton physics.
And Albert Einstein, for that matter.
Well, yeah.
He was the star.
Isn't it funny at this point, Albert Einstein is the old physics.
Classical physics.
Old classical physics.
Now we're going Quanta and Fields, two very big ideas.
Yeah.
And can we get a hint in what?
You'll be happy to hear. It's Complexity and Emergence is volume 3. That's going to be, it's basically appetizer, main course, dessert here.
Okay.
So the third one's going to be fun.
Okay. Very
My
good.
guitar's not
You're
showing.
an active research scientist. You publish books. You're active on social media. So this is great just to see kindred soul out there.
It's very tiring, isn't it? Why do we do this? Whose idea? What's this?
Let's go out and have a drink. We'll talk about it.
In service to the universe.
Yeah, we are servants of cosmic curiosity that permeates within us.
Yeah, it shows up there.
The idea of fields, as my memory of the history of physics, began with Michael Faraday. Is that correct? Or does it go farther back than that?
That would be fine if you gave it to Faraday. I mean, he certainly played a huge role in figuring out that
mid-19th century.
Mid-19th century, electricity, magnetism, both had fields associated with them. Technically, no one ever mentions this, but our old friend Pierre-Simon Laplace, circa 1800, realized that, Isaac Newton had this idea of gravity, the inverse square law, and Newton was very puzzled. Like, you have the Earth here, you have the moon over there, there's a gravitational force. How does the moon know what the gravitational force is?
There's nothing between them.
Nothing in between them. Action at a distance, right? And Laplace figured out you could rewrite Newton's theory of gravity in terms of a gravitational field. So I kind of give him credit.
Wow, look at that.
So in my high school, I had a friend who, his name was Frank Laurice, and we just learned about some of these great French physicists, mathematicians, Lagrange, Laplace, and over lunch one day he says, one day there will be the Laurice equations.
Nice.
This was just a fun little dream state that we all occupied in high school. Okay, so fields, why are fields real, or are they just a convenience? Because by the way,
real.
you are partially in the Department of Philosophy there.
Yeah.
So I get to ask you philosophically leaning questions.
I'm not allowed to say that's a philosophy question and ignore it. I actually have to answer those questions.
You actually have to answer it.
That's my job.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so the story that we tell in the book is if you were 1895, right? If you were just before the turn to the 20th century, you would have thought that matter, tables and chairs, was made of particle stuff. We knew about electrons, you knew about atoms. And you would have thought that the forces between the atoms were mediated by field. The gravitational field, the electric field, the magnetic field. And one of the great triumphs of quantum physics in the 20s and 30s was it said, it's all field. electricity, magnetism are fields, but so are electrons and quarks and neutrinos. And they vibrate in different ways, and through the miracle of quantum mechanics, when you look at those vibrating fields, they appear to us as particles. The particles come out of the field.
Is this an early variant of what would later be string theory, where they're saying particles are vibrations in the strings?
Well, particles are vibrations in the fields, and that's absolutely accurate in the regimes we're talking about here. Is there something deeper that they could be vibrations of, strings, etc.? That's a speculative idea, very, very promising,
much
but we
smaller
just
scale,
don't
that
know.
would
Yeah,
be,
much
right.
smaller. We don't need to know for predicting what's going to come out of the Large Hadron Collider.
Okay,
at
so
CERN.
so let me ask you a blunt question, which sounds stupid, but I think it's a meaningful question. Do electrons exist? As
Now wait, is that a science or a philosophical question?
Well, because
Natural philosophy.
as I understand it, we have never measured the size of the electron. It is smaller than the smallest capacity we have ever conjured to measure its size.
Okay, I got to ask you a preliminary question.
So does an electron microscope detect electrons? Let's look this up. It uses a beam of electrons as a source of illumination, so no. It's like what a TV does at CRT. A fluorescent screen and a camera.
How truthful do you want me to be?
I love it.
Okay, give me what you say in the back room, in the back room with the cigars.
First lie to me. Then tell me the truth.
Okay.
The lie is what is real is the electron field, and little vibrations in those electron fields show up in our detectors as particles. So it's not that we haven't measured the size of the electron, it's that there is no such thing as the size of the electron. The electron is a vibration in a field. It can have different vibrational wavelengths.
And it shows up as the particle.
Yes, that's right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it comes to the party that way, but otherwise it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that is so trippy.
Wait.
That is so freaky, man.
Wait. So
well, you and Einstein both were bothered by this.
I am very bothered by this.
Wait, so you cannot measure the electron in its wave state to be a particle, because the act of measuring it turns it into the particle.
The way that we usually measure things, you say, where is it? And you get a little track in your particle detector because you keep asking where it is, and you always get a definite answer to the question, where is it? But when you're not asking that question, it's spread out all over the place.
Okay, is that the lie or the truth?
That's only the lie. I haven't even gotten to the truth yet.
Okay, now give me the truth.
Okay, when quantum mechanics came along in the 1920s, we realized that instead of an electron,
Let's celebrate. We are in the centennial.
We're very close
of the discovery of quantum physics.
Right.
The centennial
year.
decade.
The quantum year. Yeah.
Yeah. The centennial decade, and that was a watershed decade where Hubble discovers that the Milky Way is not alone among galaxies in the universe, and he discovers the universe is expanding. And I'm just saying, we got to tip our hat to the 1920s.
Yeah.
Here, the Roaring 20s.
We live in shame that we can't live up to that anymore.
I know.
We
I think about that all the time.
Right? Yeah, it was too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
100
I
years
mean,
later.
let's be honest. They weren't working with much to start with.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, low-hanging. You guys are building on top of everything that they've actually discovered.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, we're building up to the truth here. So you realized in the 1920s that you thought the electron was a little particle. In fact, you should describe it in quantum mechanics by a wave function. If you ever took chemistry, if you ever saw those pictures of the orbitals of electrons, etc., that's the wave function of the electron. Soon thereafter, you realize, no, actually, you should be doing field theory, quantum field theory. And so there's a field that the electron is a vibration in. And you're asking what really exists. Well, there's a wave function of that field. So there's like fieldiness on top of fieldiness. And finally, you say that, okay, what if you have like different fields, different particles? Do they each have a wave function? No. There's one wave function for the whole kit and caboodle of them, the wave function of the universe. That's what's real. The wave function of the universe is real.
No, you know he's been smoking something.
That's crazy.
You know, where was he before this? Are you just talking this, or is this hypothesized, soon to be experimentally verified?
I encourage all of the listeners out there to check out my paper entitled "Reality."
This would be a research paper
called "Reality as a Vector in Hilbert Space."
Okay.
That's what reality is. So, look, first let me explain. Not everyone agrees with the true thing I just said. So there's disagreement because of this fact that physicists,
it's your personal truth,
can't agree on what quantum mechanics really says. So we have this idea that everyone uses in quantum mechanics, Hilbert space, which is the space of all possible imaginable quantum states of the universe. And someone like me, who is a purist, an extremist about this, says we have all possible quantum states. The actual universe is one of them, and it changes with time. Other people will say, no, that's not reality. That's just a tool we use to describe predictions, to, you know, make predictions for experiments. Other people will say that's part of reality, but there's other parts as well. We don't have a consensus on this.
Okay. I like the absence of consensus.
Yeah, exactly.
It wakes you up in the morning.
Oh, I heard consensus. Sam Harris would disagree with you. Sam Harris says the one guy could be right. I was watching the Alex O'Connor Sam Harris debate or whatever. He was trying to argue that you could create a world where people have maximized self-interest by basically what I'm interpreting as him threatening other people that there could be a better world if they didn't stand in the way. It's just so weird, dude. He tries to say that non-suffering is the best state to reach because then you reach bliss or something like that. So you should punish everyone. Basically, this implies that you should punish everyone who doesn't agree with reaching that end. So anyone working a job that doesn't help that end gets jailed pretty much because they're pretty much equated to Christian fundamentalists, which is retarded, and that consensus is retarded, and that one guy might have it right, but how do you draw an objective truth from a subjective perspective? That doesn't make any sense. Those are two categorically different. So you have to rely on consensus. Sam Harris is a retard.
The whole thing sounds very political.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
All right, so how do you square all the successful predictions of quantum physics with any intuitive understanding of what's going on? Because I've said many...
But Sam Harris would call this guy a retard because he believes in consensus. Oh, no.
Times, and I'm happy to say it again, the universe is under no obligation to make sense to us.
Oh yeah, and then he started talking about meditation. And then it was psychedelic. It was so retarded, dude. His non-dual state he wants to reach is literally psychosis. And he pretends like it isn't. And then he's saying that not a fundamentalist Christian or a fundamentalist Muslim is the specious there. Just like Jordan Peterson would say, you can't believe that there is no God because you would act in a totally different way. Oh my God, dude. But he's advocating for psychopathy within meditation. That's so retarded, dude.
So once you accept that, why try to make sense of it? And jump through hoops and brain twists just to say, well, it's got to be this or it's got to be that. But it calculates and it works. Move on.
The universe is under no obligation to make sense, but remarkably, it keeps making sense. Once we really let ourselves listen to what the universe is trying to tell us, the universe seems to be intelligible. It's not deeply, ineffably mysterious. And it's a give and take. It's not like our intuition just maps on to reality. Reality is like, nope, your intuition was a little bit off there.
Yeah.
Try to update. And if you're open-minded about it and you buy the right books, very updatable. You can absolutely get there, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Hey, Star Talk fans, I don't know if you know this, but George Gamow, he was one of the original predictors of the temperature of the universe.
Pioneer of the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, if the universe began as an explosion with the Big Bang, could you measure that? And then he was on a paper that okay. So what temperature did he get for it? It was like
He was in a factor of 10. Yeah.
No, it was a factor of 10. No,
he was within a factor of 10. They had different.
I think it was like 5 degrees. He said the universe is 5 degrees, and the universe turned out to be 3 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Rich Gott, friend of the show, has said that's like predicting that a 50-foot flying saucer will land on the White House lawn, but a 30-foot flying saucer lands on the
That's
White
pretty
House
wild.
lawn.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's not even that the numbers are different. It's that it's a prediction at all that would come true.
But the story you're telling right here is exactly why this crazy talk about Hilbert spaces and quantum fields has some plausibility, because we have some data in front of us. We try to explain it. We invent an equation that explains it, and then we extrapolate that equation to wild places that it's never been before, and it comes back telling us, yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said was going to happen. And the Big Bang is an example. Quantum field theory is another example.
So Mark Twain did this first. You know the Mark Twainism?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had read that there was some research paper about the rate at which the Mississippi River is depositing silt in the delta, and so it's growing in this direction. And then he says, that means, 30 million years ago, the Mississippi River ended in Canada. And then he says, the great thing about science, there's such wholesale conclusions drawn from a trifling investment of fact.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's Mark Twain doing it. In Mr. Tompkins in Wonderland, what made it entertaining, especially if you're a budding scientist, is he changes the values of the physical constants in an ordinary world.
Okay.
So, and then you get to see what happens in an ordinary way. Otherwise, these phenomena are inaccessible to us. So in one of them, he said, all right, 60 miles an hour is the speed of light. And now you're driving down the street, what do you see? And then another one, I think he changed Planck's constant.
Yeah, sure.
And so could you just give me a handle on things that would happen if Planck's constant were macroscopic? Like if I walk through the doorway, I would like diffract, right? Wouldn't I?
Yeah, you would diffract, and we wouldn't be able to know exactly that you had a position and velocity at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the old joke about Werner Heisenberg being pulled over, and the cop says, "Do you know how fast you were going?" And Heisenberg says, "No, but I know exactly where I am."
Okay.
Because you can't know, according to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, both your velocity and position at the same
That
time.
joke rocks at physics conferences.
I was going to say, who wrote that? Can I try that out? I don't know.
That's the uncertainty principle. No one would pin you down. In quantum mechanics, you're fundamentally not a set of particles. You're a set of waves.
Right.
If the Planck constant, which sort of sets the scale for quantum physics, were much bigger, macroscopic, then we would all be these kind of undulating waves moving through the universe, interfering with each other and becoming entangled and then measuring things. And we don't want to live there. It's not no place to be, really.
And so you mentioned entangled. That's been a buzz phrase.
Everybody loves it.
Everybody loves it.
It's one of the biggest hits.
Hearing about
Jada Pinkett Smith loves it.
Entanglement. So one of the goals is, what's the farthest particle that you can entangle, on the premise that maybe that'll be useful one day.
Right.
And from all the news articles I've seen, China leads the world in entangled particle distances. So what do you have to do to...
I'm sorry, because I'm just losing something right here. I'm missing something. If something is entangled, what difference would it make about the distance? I'm missing that.
Who knows? I'm saying in science, you just push the envelope if you've never pushed it before.
I got you.
One day, we heard in Congress. Did you hear in Congress? China is going to land something on the far side of the moon, and Congress wants to know why. How come we're not landing something on the far side of the moon? This was an entire conversation in Congress.
Right, right.
No, but Chuck is completely right about entanglement. It doesn't matter how far away things are, but the problem with two entangled particles, which we haven't even defined what that means, but you have a very sophisticated audience, so they know what this means, is that as soon as you measure one of them, the entanglement breaks. So it's not that they get further apart, just that as you bring them further apart, the chances that one of them bumps into something gets bigger and bigger.
And so therefore, so that's what makes this distance record meaningful as a record. So one of them was they entangled particles between orbit and Earth's surface. And another one was they entangled particles inside a fiber optic network, 50 kilometers, which is about city size. And so then the suspicion is with entangled particles, you might be able to make a secure internet, undecodable,
unhackable. You can't
Probably untraceable too. That is crazy.
Encryption that wouldn't make a difference at that point.
Right, because it's instant. So is this a pipe dream?
Well, it's very hard because once you get beyond a few particles, it becomes harder and harder and harder to remain all of them being entangled with each other. And that's ultimately what you need. But that's a technology problem. It's not like you're violating the laws of physics. So we're setting our best engineers on it, trying to build quantum computers, etc.
You got a bread engineers, you fix it.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah, we've shown it's conceivable.
Right.
What do you want from us?
Yeah, what more do you need?
The math works. All right, Johnson?
There's no law of physics against it. Right?
Exactly.
You know, the engineers who said we will never fly faster than sound did not get that from a physicist.
That's right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Because rifle bullets went faster than sound, and the crack of a whip is faster than sound.
Yeah.
You know, we had that. So, so back to this. Can you foresee a value to a 50-kilometer quantum entangled network the size of a city?
You know, mostly that's just showing off. I think it's much more important technologically to have 1,000 or 1,000,000 quantum entangled things very close to each other. Then you can manipulate them, build a computer, do things.
Right.
Isn't that what goes on in a quantum chip? Isn't there a lot of entangled?
We would like it to be.
Okay.
We don't. It's very, very hard because literally any photon that bumps into them messes things up. That's why you need to push it down to absolute zero or very, very close.
Oh,
right?
I had not fully appreciated that.
Yeah.
The photos I saw, most of that was just like
refrigerator,
the door, the freezer compartment, just to have the little bitty thing in the middle.
Otherwise, because like you and I radiating our infrared all over the place would totally decohere those quantum bits.
That would be the opposite of cohere.
Which is what this conversation makes me feel like.
Are you decoherent?
Decoherent. I'm decoherent.
Catch us up on entangled particles.
Well, this is part of this fact that we said before, that there's not a separate quantum wave function for every individual thing in the universe. There's only one wave function for all of them at once. And what the wave function tells us is the probability of observing something. So if you have two particles, and let's say they have positions, you don't know where it is. In fact, literally, when something like the Higgs boson decays into an electron and a positron, the anti-electron. And you say, well, what direction are they going in? And the answer is they're both going in all directions. Their wave functions are coming out sort of in a spherical pattern. But then when you observe one of them,
that's where it is.
That's where it is, and momentum is conserved. So now you know the other one's going in exactly. So you know where the other one is without having detected it yet. That's entanglement.
So what entangles them?
The rules of physics.
Okay, that doesn't. That's not. Stop it.
That's just the end of this interview.
You can't do that.
Get him out of here.
That's my mother saying because I said so. That's what that. Mom, why can't I have ice cream for breakfast? Because I said so. That's why.
What law of physics prescribes this?
Quantum mechanics. That's the nature of quantum mechanics. It's sort of that. This is how science works. You sort of conjecture an idea, then you say, is that right or not? And so in quantum mechanics, the fundamental way things work is that the state of the universe is a vector in Hilbert space, which means that the combined state of every particle in the universe and every field and everything is described by one single mathematical object. And in fact, I don't like the word entanglement because it kind of it makes it hard to update your intuition. It makes it sound like what really exists are these two particles, and you measure one, and then you're like, why did the other one change? If you just accept that what exists is the combined quantum state of everything in the universe, then it's no surprise at all that when you look at a little bit of it, it affects the rest.
Okay, but
interesting.
Can I just take two random particles?
Okay, that's. I gotta admit that makes a lot of sense.
Can I take two random particles that were not born together and entangle them?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Entanglement happens whenever you have two objects that are not entangled, but they interact with each other in different ways depending on different parts of their wave function. So let me just give you a down-to-earth example. Schrödinger's cat. You've heard about this. Schrödinger, who apparently didn't like cats, goes to a great amount of thought experiment effort to put a cat in a superposition.
That's right. That would have never worked with Schrödinger's dog.
No,
that would not have flown.
Schrödinger's daughter
people wouldn't have had it.
Said that he didn't like cats.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is why he picked the cat. So it's in a superposition of alive and dead. I'm a cat person, so in my version, they're a superposition of awake and asleep.
Oh,
it's very sweet. You don't have to kill the cat.
The
point is, you don't have to kill the cat, but the point is they're different places in the box, okay? And what that means is that everything in the box, the air, the light, everything moving around in the background interacts differently with the awake cat running around trying to get out and the asleep cat just snoring peacefully on the ground. And so the environment, as we say, entangles with the cat right away because it interacts with it, but interacts with it differently depending on different parts of the wave function.
Okay, I don't know that that's more clear to me. So your sleep and awake cat.
Yeah, but how much does the environment entangle? Does it just need to be one particle that's entangled? And that's it? That counts as a different world?
But we declared that without actually sticking a sleep and awake cat in the box. I mean, we're just asserting that.
Right.
Why does that make
could
it?
the cat just be drowsy?
In between.
No, this is Schrödinger's whole point. This is why he set up in the experiment. There's a radioactive thought experiment. He didn't do it.
Just to be clear.
So radioactivity, and there's a Geiger counter, and the Geiger counter will click when it detects radioactive decay.
In radioactivity, you have no idea which particle is going to decay.
Okay.
Just statistically, you know very accurately what fraction of them will. But the fact that you don't know creates a brilliant, beautiful, random number in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you needed a random thing, you get a decaying set of particles, and you can draw randomness from that. That's as good a random as we can produce.
100% random as far as we know.
Yeah,
right?
as far as we know.
Nothing better. And this is, the 1930s when Schrödinger was very unhappy with the state of quantum mechanics. He was not bragging about quantum mechanics. He was saying, surely you don't believe this. And he says, when we say this particle has a probability of decaying, what quantum mechanics actually says is there's a wave function for the particle, and it is in a superposition of I have decayed and I have not decayed. And the part of it that is decayed sets off the Geiger counter. Now, the Geiger counter is in a superposition of I have clicked and I have not clicked. And the Geiger counter in the part that clicks knocks over a hammer, breaks a vial full of sleeping gas, and the cat goes to sleep. So the cat goes into a superposition of being awake and being asleep. That's the whole point of the sort of Rube Goldberg gizmo that Schrödinger builds in there.
But how does that help anything?
Well, Schrödinger's trying to say, in the way that we thought of quantum mechanics back then, there was these giant debates between Bohr and Einstein about what quantum mechanics really means.
Niels Bohr.
And Niels Bohr would have said, look, when you open the box and look, the cat suddenly changes from being in a superposition of awake and asleep to being one or the other.
Okay.
And Schrödinger's like, come on.
Right.
You think
He's
that when I
saying,
look
no,
at it, it changes like that?
I got you. So his thing is that superposition exists at all times, everywhere, no matter what. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I looked at it. It's in that superposition. You just got to accept that.
Should have said that. He blinked. He lost courage at the last second.
Oh.
And it was a decade and a half later, or 2 decades later, a graduate student at Princeton named Hugh Everett said exactly those words. He said, just believe what the formula is telling you. And what the formula tells you is when you look at it, guess what? You enter into a superposition.
Right.
There's a part of you that has seen the cat awake and a part of you that has seen the cat asleep. And Hugh Everett says that's because both of those possibilities exist just in two separate worlds.
Because what we're dealing with is a probability in the first place. So that always exists. It doesn't change because you observed it.
Exactly.
It's still the
Who
same.
cares?
Well,
That's
right.
right.
You just mentioned in that world, I have some memory that I haven't heard about lately, but that it was the Copenhagen interpretation.
Yeah, that was Niels Bohr.
Niels Bohr is Danish.
Okay.
And so they credited, I guess, the city, but it was really a Bohr interpretation, not a Copenhagen.
Well, he had his people who would come into his institute and hang around and go out, spreading the gospel of Bohr. So this was the idea. Yeah, Heisenberg, Pauli, there's a bunch.
There's a bunch. Okay,
Yeah.
so can you catch us up on the many worlds interpretation?
Right. So the Copenhagen interpretation really frustrated people like Einstein and Schrödinger because it seemed to give up on arguably the single most crucial feature of science, which is realism about the physical world. Before quantum mechanics came along, you knew there was a real world out there, even if you didn't know exactly what it was doing.
Right.
And Bohr and his friends seem to be saying that before you open the box and look at the cat, there is no fact of the matter about what the cat is. And Einstein and Schrödinger said, even if you don't know what the fact of the matter is, there should be some.
Right.
And so Everett sort of lives up to the dreams of Einstein and Schrödinger and says, yes, there is a reality there, but sadly for you, the reality is there's many different worlds and they don't interact with each other. So Everett is just saying that in this world of superpositions that quantum mechanics always describes, you should just take them all seriously. They're all actually there. It's not just a mathematical trick.
That is really, really tough.
I get it.
That is rough.
All right. You got the sleepy cat, you got the awake, sleep cat, you got the awake cat. Is there a world where I open the box and I see the awake cat as a different world from the one in which I open the box and it's asleep?
There will be two worlds, and it happens long before you open the box, because as soon as the other stuff in the box, as soon as the photons and the atoms and everything become entangled with the cat, boom, there's two worlds.
So where are those two worlds? Or is that the wrong question?
That's the wrong question. I see that you quickly got it. As soon as you asked it, you knew.
No, I knew. But
the worlds are not located in space. Space is located in each world.
Holy.
He knows it. Chuck gets it. He gets it.
I gotta leave.
I gotta go. I need you, Chuck. No. Chuck, I need you for
I
this.
don't believe in it anymore. It's over. No, there is no God. Oh no.
Chuck,
I mean, that's also true. But okay, that's a whole nother podcast.
Chuck Wenzel, obsessive.
Wow. That is so cool. I mean, that is really, really freaky, trippy cool.
And many people believe this. Not everyone does. So it's something we don't have a consensus
Do
on
the people
right
who don't
now.
believe it have a better explanation?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't believe that, then you got to go back to what we were just talking about, which is the Niels Bohr. Now you're actually, I'm sorry, that sounds more like magic. That sounds like magic to me. Like I opened it up or I looked at it, or because I looked at the electron, that's when it is where it is and became what it became. Why would that be? Why? I mean, why would that ever be?
I have to clear something up here.
Go ahead, please.
Just before.
Help me out.
Okay, no, let me just clear something up.
Go ahead.
In physics, we talk about the observer, okay, on many levels. And
okay,
in quantum physics, the observer is not simply some conscious entity looking at it.
Right, I understand that.
If you want to make a measurement, you have to like shine light on it. You have to interact with it in some way. And what happened over the years, over the decades, is like there's like a new age movement that was convinced after hearing this kind of vocabulary, started saying, oh, it's our consciousness that's affecting the outcome. Look at it. It's your brain energy going into the thing.
Yeah, that's like some quantum field of dreams stuff right there, man. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
So do you get a lot of this new age folks
there
coming
were
back to you?
absolutely respectable physicists who said exactly things like that.
No.
Who really, oh yeah.
No.
Wigner, Pauli, yeah, they actually. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, but they're all dead now.
Look, quantum mechanics is forcing you to make some hard decisions about how reality works. And so they're all freaky one way or the other. Either there's many worlds, or you bring it into existence by looking at it, or there is no reality. And, you know, none of them are exactly what we grew up thinking.
The Star Talk interview with physicist Sean Carroll had some spillage that didn't fit. Mjolnir forged in the heart of a dying star. And I said, yes, I got this. The heart of a dying star. If you want to get the rest of that content,
I'd rather miss it. Don't worry.
A Patreon member, and that gives you access.
Okay, I got you.
So I can still be described by quantum physics. That's just not as convenient as Newtonian physics.
And all the light in the room is constantly measuring you and localizing you.
Okay. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Okay. So now,
are you here?
At the moment.
You're here right now.
Okay. So if all the quantum phenomenon average out into my macroscopic state, is there any quantum manifestation in the large-scale universe?
Oh yeah, sure. Our favorite has to be the microwave background, the cosmic microwave background, right? Now, we don't know this for sure, but you look at the relic radiation from the Big Bang, okay? Big Bang, 14 billion years ago, was hot and dense and glowing. About 380, I think, 100,000 years after the Big Bang, it became transparent. And so we see the relic radiation from the Big Bang. And for reasons we don't completely understand, it's super duper smooth. It's almost exactly the same temperature radiation from place to place. But it's not exactly the same.
Direction, you can look in this direction, opposite direction.
To you everywhere.
Two completely opposite directions.
Right.
And we have...
The temperature in this office is nowhere near that stable.
Right. Right.
In this corner, it's like 2 degrees higher, 3, 5. And what's it's
so you're saying for the entire
one part in 100,000.
1 part in 100,000 difference in temperature from this side of the universe to that side of the universe.
And it's that uniform all the way across.
Yeah, that's right.
Insane.
It's insane.
That's insane.
And my office can't.
Wow, that really does kind of
forces your hand.
That, you know, that all of that that the Big Bang happened and that, you know, it came from this one thing. It had to come from the one thing because that's the only way as it spreads out that you can get that kind of uniformity is that it comes from this one thing.
That's right. And the best theory that we have for why it's so uniform is called inflation. Okay. You might have heard before. The universe expands at some super fast rate very, very early on. And it's very much like stretching your sheet on your bed and smoothing it out, right? It wants to smooth it out, but something gets in the way. Quantum mechanics. So quantum mechanics says you're trying to smooth out the universe the best you can, but when you measure it, there'll be little ripples. And we think that those tiny variations in temperature, 1 part in 100,000, come from the quantum mechanical uncertainty in the state of the universe at early times. And of course, those grow into planets and stars and galaxies.
The quantum, it has left its paw print in the picture of the early universe.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Another way am I right to say that had it been completely smooth, it's not clear that we would have made galaxies.
I was going to say, would we even be
here?
Yeah, because these fluctuations give us the seeds on which you collapse matter.
Yeah.
All right.
That is so nutty.
But let me bring up one other important manifestation of quantum.
Wouldn't they have been created anyways at the center of the Big Bang or near the center anyways because it's so close enough?
Makes us understand it better.
Hopefully it will.
Not if it regresses.
The chair is solid. That's all because of quantum mechanics. You know, you've seen the picture, the cartoon of an atom, right? Little.
Unless they're saying it'd go completely flat right away, then I guess so.
Nucleus in the middle, electrons orbiting around like it's a solar system. That can't be right, because if you get a bunch of atoms together and they're all little solar systems, they would just squish together. It's not right, that picture, because the electrons are not little point particles moving in orbits. They're wave functions that have a size. They take up space, and the reason why the chair can be solid is because the wave functions of electrons in the atoms take up space and don't want to overlap, and therefore matter has extent in space.
One of my favorite stories was it from the book Night Thoughts of a Classical Physicist?
Oh yeah, Lewis. Oh no, that's not Lewis.
No, maybe no. I'm misremembering. So either it was fictionalized in that novel, or I'm remembering it as a memoir from Ernest Rutherford, who first showed how empty the atom is by passing, was it neutrons or
alpha particles?
Oh, alpha particles. Okay, so he's got helium nuclei, and he has a very thin sheet of gold, because you can hammer gold very, very thin, and so he wants to get like the fewest width atoms of gold foil that he can possibly get, and then he starts firing particles through it, and like nearly all of them just go straight through, untouched, undiverted, nothing. And then he alone at that moment realized how empty matter was. And this is the story what I hear, that the next morning he woke up, he was afraid to step on the ground out of fear he would fall through the floor. Is this just apocryphal?
That last part you might have made up. I don't know about that one. But the story you can read about in my new book, Quanta and Fields, where I explained this. But the idea that it's empty, I don't like it when people say that, because what Rutherford really figured out.
It's because you're a field guy.
Is that
it's like a wiffle ball. It has holes in it, it's empty in the middle, but the outside's still strong. So you could step on it and not fly through it. But once you get like a marble and drop it in the wiffle ball hole, then it can go right through. And then out the other side, no problem.
So the fields they matter, but what he really figured out is that most of the mass is at the center in the nucleus, right? And so it's not just that they mostly pass through that's important. Also, very occasionally, one.
Okay, never mind. There's a core in the wiffle ball in the center that has spokes leading to the outside. What do you call that? I have no idea. Hollow Earth theory, I guess.
Ricochets right back at you. So it's not just that the gold is sort of spread out and diffuse. There's some oomph there right at the middle in the nucleus of the atom.
Just while we're like fired up here, what's the latest thinking on dark matter, dark energy? Where should we see future advances?
These are
We're just looking for a dark matter particle. Are you all in on the particle thing? Or you got some other exotic?
I'm happy for it to be a particle. I've proposed theories where it's not a particle, but they're not very good, these theories. The dark matter is probably kind of a particle. We haven't found it yet, and I would say that we had a chance of having found it already. The experiments are pretty good, but it wasn't like a 99% chance. It was like a 50% chance we would have found it already. So the fact that we haven't found it already is not yet cause for concern.
Okay.
The dark energy is interesting. Again, I've written papers about different possibilities for that, but the simplest one is the best. Einstein's idea that there's energy in empty space. It's just a fact of the matter. Every cubic centimeter of space has 100 millionth of an erg of energy inherent in space itself.
Erg is a unit of energy.
Pushing the universe apart. And so we don't know. In fact, there was a provocative recent result from the Dark Energy Spectroscopic Instrument, which claimed that maybe the dark energy is declining very slowly.
At DESI. Dark energy spectrum.
But there's like 3 different experiments whose nickname is DESI, so I actually like to use all the words.
Okay.
This one said,
Desi Lou. Desi Lou is a That's a different one. Yeah.
So we don't know. That would be very, very fascinating and exciting.
That the dark matter field is changing.
Dark energy field is slowly declining with time. Yeah.
Declining. Now, is that allowed if the Einstein's cosmological constant, which was our first indication that there might be this thing such as dark energy working opposite gravity, that is identically a constant the way it comes out of the equation. That's right.
So if this is true, then the cosmological constant is not the dark energy. The dark energy is something else. The cosmological constant, the vacuum energy, which are equivalent, that was a candidate. That's one possible thing the dark energy could be.
Got
the
it.
simplest,
I
most
didn't
basic
appreciate
thing.
that.
Yeah.
And it's a leading candidate because it comes out of we're using the equation anyway, and it was already there.
That's right.
And
everything else is a little bit more delicate, a little more fragile, hard to figure out, but cosmological constant's pretty easy. Just put it in there.
This has been exhausting.
One last thing, just as a teaser for your next book.
Yeah.
When I think of emergence, I assume you mean it in the tree of life. There are life forms that have features that cannot be deduced from their biological form. like flocking birds, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't analyze anything about a bird that we know of that will tell you
that they
it will
should
flock with other birds.
Right.
So you will not be surprised to learn there's a lot of philosophical controversy about these concepts, but basically, yes. You know, the point is we can, as you said before, we can get through the day talking about people and tables and chairs without knowing that they're made of atoms or quantum fields, right? So there's different levels of description that all seem to work. They have to be consistent with each other, but you don't need to know about your quantum fields to get through the day or balance your stock portfolio. Just go through, emergence. There we are.
There you go.
Emergent.
Consciousness, free will.
Yeah.
All part of that package.
All part of emergence.
Yeah.
The more I think about free will, the less I think we have it. I've not reversed in this vector direction I'm headed about free will.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, but what if you stripped away everything? Would you then have free will? So if you don't have free will, then what you're talking about is there has to be an influence put upon you.
No, I'm going to take whoever said it, you'll know. I don't think we have free will, but what choice do I have? Somebody said that.
I don't know that one. There's a philosopher joke, like, you know, you walk into the restaurant, they say, what do you want? And say, I'll want to have whatever the universe says I'm going to have. Like, I have no choice about what it's going to be. But I don't think that's the right way to talk. I think I do have the ability to make choices.
Well, I've heard you on other podcasts give, for me, what was the most resonant account of free will that I can think of, while others were spouting off.
I think that choice is based on a variety, and then you're trying to keep that variety constant. Unless you're supremely autistic and you only eat the same thing every day, then that's more determinative, I guess.
Here, the wide, expansive, large amount of power that the vice president has in terms of counting the votes under the 12th Amendment of the Constitution, irrespective of what the Electoral Count Act says. So here's where we stand. In Georgia, a filing has been made in district court.
So I didn't read the underlying cases that Chesper was citing with us. So we've kind of brought this up before, but now that I have a better legal understanding of everything, I think I can kind of understand more what they're doing here. So we have a thing called the 12th Amendment, okay? For the 12th Amendment, the electors shall...
So does this mean Kamala can certify the slate as them all going to her right before the election, so she just makes herself president? Easiest hack, other than killing the president as a VP.
They shall sign and certify and transmit sealed with blah, 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 blah. Okay, direct to the President of the Senate. The President of the Senate, so this is the Vice President, shall, in the presence of the Senate and House of Representatives, open all the certificates, and the votes shall then be counted. The person having the greatest number of votes for President shall be the President, if such number be a majority of the whole number of electors appointed, and if no such person has a majority, then from the person the highest number of law. But in choosing the President, the votes shall be taken by states, the representation from each state having one vote. Let's see. Okay, but in choosing the president, the vote shall be taken by states, the representation from each state having one vote. A quorum for this purpose shall consist of a member or members from 2/3 of the states, and a majority of all the states shall be necessary for choice. If the House of Representatives shall not choose, the person having the greatest number of votes as vice president shall be the vice president if such number be a majority of the whole number of electors appointed, and if no person have a majority, then from the two highest numbers on the list, the Senate shall choose the vice president. A quorum for the purpose shall consist of 2/3, and a majority of the whole number shall be necessary to a choice, but no person constitutionally ineligible to the office of president. Okay, okay. One thing they invoke is the 12th Amendment, and then a second thing that they invoke is they try to say that the let's see. There's a law called the Electoral Count Act fuck, I'm not gonna be able to find this. Fuck, I wish I could point to this directly. I don't think anybody will get into this much into the weeds on the argument. But what it sounds like they were trying to do is they were trying to say the Electoral Count Act lays out the procedures that Congress ought to follow in order to resolve disputes if people are disagreeing about the slates of electors. But what Chesbrough was trying to argue, and then what Eastman ended up amplifying, was, well, actually, we think that the Electoral Count Act is actually unconstitutional. We think that it's unconstitutional because the Electoral Count Act dictates the way that Congress should act or that the Senate should act in rules that are not in accordance with ordinary Senate rules. And so what they were saying is Pence should step up and say, I'm going to do this constitutionally, meaning he's going to ignore how the Electoral Count Act says that you ought to conduct yourself, and then he can either recuse himself and have another president of the Senate come up and do it, which was part of the plan, or he could just say that when there's a dispute between like alternate slates of electors, he can say, well, ordinarily the vice president or the president of the Senate has the ability to like end debate and then toss it back to the House delegation. But it was some theory like this. If somebody wants to get into the weeds on this, I guess, well, we can read the ECA, and I doubt anybody will get that deep. But they were basically hinging on the Electoral Count Act, basically being able to say, we think that's unconstitutional, so we're going to act in a different way. And either people will challenge us, in which case, oh, well, fine, we'll go to the Supreme Court and fight it, or they won't challenge because it'll be mayhem, and then they can just try to get the vote certified for Trump. That was kind of like the esoteric. I just want to be clear. I don't have the fine details of that 100% down, but I have the broad strokes down. Just be aware of that, because people will say, oh no, like there was a legal theory for how this worked. Bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. There was no valid legal theory for how that works. When you say a legal theory, anything can be a legal theory, right? A legal theory can literally be whatever the fuck you want it to be, right? I could literally say, we have a valid legal theory that allows us to fire a nuclear weapon at California. And that valid theory is that one of the first iterations of one of the first atomic bombs that we tested, the name of that bomb was freedom of speech. And in the First Amendment, Congress can't make a law abridging the freedom of speech, which is the name of our bomb, so we should be able to launch it. That's what I just said is a legal theory, just as valid as any other legal theory. Not really just as valid, but that's a legal theory. That doesn't mean that it actually has any weight, right? That's just that's a legal theory. None of what they were saying was tested in any court, was supported by any prominent or reputable legal scholar, and the Office of Legal Counsel and the legal counsel to the White House all said that this is not good. This is bullshit. You can't do this. This is not going to work, right? Just be clear of that when somebody says something,
it's not going to work, but when it was challenged in the Supreme Court ruled that it was fair. What are you talking about? It sounded like it was legally fair. But the Supreme Court said it was. Am I still missing a case? The FBI one? With the documents? Because I think the whole election is off the table now because of the Supreme Court ruling.
So now
wait, is Pisco in here?
We're taking that to the district court. The Pennsylvania case is in front of the Supreme Court, and now there are two Wisconsin cases, two Wisconsin petitions.
But hang on, hold on, slow down for a second. When you say in front of it, haven't the courts basically come back and said, hey, we see all these things, but either no standing or laches, or we just don't want to deal with it? And the Supreme Court.
I think we need to be careful when we speak of dual roles here. When you say a president's lawyer made it, no. A White House presidential lawyer did not make it. It was Donald Trump's personal counsel. These people, I don't believe any of these people, not Chesbrough, I don't believe any of these people were White House staff. Eastman, I don't think. The Eastman was, and Giuliani and Powell, I don't believe any of these people were ever, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, you can look at that. I don't think any of these people were ever White House staff ever. I'm pretty sure all of these people were just Donald Trump's campaign's lawyers or personal lawyers.
It's a perfect example. You had a great lawsuit. I think the most tightly argued you've had to date. John Eastman's going to be on next. And essentially, it's crickets, right? Because they're basically telling you, we don't want to deal with it. Is that what the audience should take away from this? Given all the evidence, all the
torture memos drafted under the Bush administration, torture memos, Bush administration. You know what? If they were done by the OLC, then these would carry weight, but I don't know where these come from.
70 FBI indictments. Full immunity on all of them.
I think that I don't support, I don't know if they would be criminal, but I think that every single senator that objected to the certification of the electoral vote, I think all of them are equally in the wrong for everything.
Peace on my side, so beating my ride. The windows up when it's hot and when it's cold outside. The AC blow snowball, grab a bitch up the wall. We should do a weed era, fuck it. Y'all just get high every day. The pictures drip on the street, Michael Jordan. So we do a weed era chat. Big booty free to make the pimping complete. I go.
We are making legislation to make sure that sodomy and homosexuality never sees the light of legality in this land of the Pearl of Africa. I've taken time to do a little research to know what homosexuals do in the privacy of their bedroom. One of the things they do is called anal leaking, where a man's anus is leaked like this by the other person, like ice cream. And then
like ice cream.
Even poo-poo comes out. The other poo-poo's out, and then they eat the poo-poo. The other one.
I don't think no one does that. There's no, nah, I don't think that's. I know Amber Heard liked taking a shit on Johnny Depp's chest or bed or whatever.
What?
But this dude is talking about some people fucking sucking the shit out. Nah.
They do is
He's
they
never
have a
seen
sex
two girls, one
practice
cup.
called fisting, where they insert their hand into the other man's hand, and it goes into the anus all the way, and it is so painful. They have to.
Does anybody have this full interview? Bro, is this full interview what, like 20 minutes? Does anybody have this full interview? This dude's going crazy. This dude's going crazy. Does anybody, like, how do I... How do I even... Eat the...
30 more minutes. 30 more minutes. And the stream's done.
Eat the... Poo.
It is hot, dude. Good thing I didn't stream summer. I think Hunger Games is in a month still. So, we got a lot of time off. It's just so hot, dude. It's like over 100 every single day.
Nah, I don't think there's a full interview.
We bring in the studio this morning.
Nah, I don't think there's the full interview. There's no full interview.
What is your message to Western human rights groups?
My ear.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people.
Respect African societies and their values.
He looks so greasy.
If you are wrong, we shall fall out by ourselves. Just the way we don't think the was.
Do you personally dislike homosexuals?
Of course, they're disgusting. What sort of people are they? How can you go?
The BBC was the president.
She's so not fucking
What the hell happened?
Tell him that's not cool. Really, tell him what the...
He said should have gave him. He said you should have given
the
his
other tables.
friend the box.
What? What is happening?
What box?
You can tell this chick is crazy. Oh my god, I bet she shags like a goddamn animal.
It's from the box. I don't know what box.
Box is a pseudonym
17.
meaning
I think it means euphemism.
vagine.
Or double entendre. Rah.
LOL, Thomas says
That is.
you could not give it anyway.
There's that
because you
dynamic.
are a man.
Who's the...
She does not know. She's fucking pissed.
Like, why do we feel like some of the information we're saying is true, but the half of it is a lie?
I'm chatting here and on Thomas's table. I'm the middleman.
Okay.
What table are you on right now?
I ain't snitching. Thomas is my boy.
That's request.
No, she has a target. She knows who I'm talking about. I don't even know who I'm talking
You
about.
know what? I got the easiest thing. I will report you and your buddy. Okay?
And your buddy. How you get banned from a gambling website? That is crazy.
No. You won't look like a woman for a very long time. LOL. Oh shit, it's Thomas. Oh shit, hi Thomas.
You're a dead man. You and your friend both are.
She's gonna fuck
You look like a guy.
I've never seen this at a gambling table, dude. I was about to say craps for whatever reason.
Somebody remove this.
Low balance.
Messages violate chat conduct. Any violation will lead to chat privilege being saved. Have a great day. Angriest woman I've ever seen. Alex. Her Insta. I want to let her ruin my life. She's so fucking mad. This is great.
My blood pressure is too high now.
Jesus Christ, dude.
No, you don't. Nobody knows me. Oh, God. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna quit this job.
Don't quit just because Thomas is closer. We still love you. We still love you, Alex. She actually is so convinced that I just ruined her life.
When you make the dealer quit, what the hell? Go with that.
Thomas is another dealer upstairs right now, telling everyone I'm a boy. 14.
I told you it was a real guy! I told you it was a fucking real guy! She believes it's a person! No fucking way!
And 17.
No fucking way, dude! Shit ever! Thomas just told me you can go talk to him on break.
Good luck.
But he is still telling he is still talking.
Yeah.
That's why I said a normal name like Thomas. She is so fucking mad. This is awesome.
What the hell, man? Please report that player. Like, I mean, the guy. Like, that is not.
Nah, Thomas is awesome.
Really go.
He gives me
to
blackjacks.
Quick report. Push when I caress.
Don't kill my folly.
This reaction after.
No, they're healing.
We gotta find Thomas. This is the greatest arc I've ever seen in my whole life.
Oh, she died.
Fuck, they don't have names, bro.
GG.
Shit. Chat, how do I find their name? Ah, fuck, dude. I hope you and Thomas come to a civil resolution. Alex, it was nice meeting you. I said a short guy with middling brown hair, and she said his hair curly. So it's a curly-haired brown guy who's short, which is like 99% of men, which is why I said it that way. She doesn't give a fuck that she's just hosing everyone. All she cares about is what I said.
You know what? If what you said is true, it's not gonna be civil.
What are you gonna do?
It was supposed to be a joke, not a gossip session.
What are you gonna do?
Did he say he's joking?
No, he said he 100% believes that you were born a man, that you are a man.
Good luck next round. Oh, my lord.
Oh.
I think I know who Thomas is. That's her close. Does he have a... Wait, you said oh shit. Now I have two people in mind.
Oh shit, she's gonna fight two guys!
I'm confused. You need to give me more
She's not gonna quit, she's gonna get fired.
Beard, has a beard. She did this.
You could have, no, you should at least say goatee.
There's a player upstairs.
Shit! Shit! Fuck, dude, she did this! I thought he definitely had a beard!
No, you could have said at least goatee.
Fuck!
Oh no, you need to find this guy now.
Oh, read the chat. You have so much fun.
Oh, she's pissed! She's fucking pissed!
Bro, what are you talking about, man? What? Who's Thomas, man? What are you talking about?
She was joking.
Hey, yo, what's going on? Hey, yo, richer than Elon Musk? No, I don't think so. Yeah. What?
Yo.
She's man.
Jesus Christ, dude.
It's tiny.
Huh? Yeah. From the hour one. Bro. Hey, it is, but hey, don't say that.
It is!
Who is Alex, man? I will catch him. You, Alex?
Alex is the man!
What?
The man dealer!
Oh, your name is Alex?
Left.
Hey, how does she know, man? Ah, he's man dealer who left? Okay.
Okay.
He said that, not me, man. Hello, my name is also not Thomas. Are we getting president? Let's go. How do you know, man? She said that. I mean, he said that. King of Hearts.
She said Alex said.
She told you, man?
All Russian dudes have tiny feet.
Blackjack, good luck. 14.
What is happening?
I'm not Russian. What do you mean you're Russian? El Russia. I don't like Russia. I'm not that, but I don't like Russia. I'm sorry. 18.
It's W Russia.
And I will never be Russian. Never.
All my N-words. Love Putin.
W Russia? Bro, you wanna get banned or something?
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Do you wanna be reported, chat ban?
No,
I don't know.
I love you, buddy.
The West Coast. You kidding? Okay, very nice. Don't say again.
Holy shit.
I'm Georgian.
This is awesome.
Pressed off the platform.
Oh, this is awesome.
Of course, man. Thank you very much. I hope you too.
God, that was the best day I've ever had. What a dream. We got 4 bonuses to open. We're down $1,000, so hopefully we get really lucky, bro.
Jesus
Thomas is about
Christ.
to get, some dude's about to get murdered. Look for Thomas, you don't have names. On some sites they have names. It's like impossible to find. You do a YouTube video? That shit is so funny, dude. That would be a great YouTube video.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, it's just swords. Oh, yeah,
That'd be out in like 2 weeks if I posted it first.
We just want to see sword. Now we get 5x.
In Georgia, in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Arizona, and I'll call out the ones which are Democrat controlled, in Nevada, in New Mexico, to do the right thing, by the American people.
Why is my cancel low now?
Have special sessions, continue investigating. The amount of fraud is absolutely staggering. We're talking about over
Or zoom out just a
400,000
little bit.
fraudulent ballots elected in Georgia.
This is like my name's too
Recount
big
in
or
Wisconsin,
something.
that just in Milwaukee-Dade County, I talk about this a lot, over 220,000 fraudulent ballots. We know the 700,000 ballots in Pennsylvania which were mail-in absentee which were not observed when they were being counted. We know that the number of around 200,000
Speaking right now, that's not Eastman, is it?
more votes
I just panned
people
down.
deciding to vote. In
I
Pennsylvania,
think it says
it's
Boris,
all
guys.
this information is out there. All this information
Oh,
is
it is
presented, and these
Boris
state legislators cannot
Epstein,
stick their head in the sand and say this has nothing to do with us. You're right. The courts are saying it is incumbent upon them to act, and it is very clearly in the Article 2 of our Constitution spelled out that it is the duty and the job of the state legislatures to determine how elections are held, and it is their duty then to determine who the correct electors are. So that's absolutely reviewable. Now, what should our audience look for?
Okay, that seems better. I don't know why it was like so long.
It does come on the 6th. We already know that there's electors from
Like,
the vice president
shrink?
that have been sent to Congress. That was the vice president's got a lot of power, and that's very important. Recognizing this case for Lord Gomer dismissed only on standing, on procedure, not on merits.
That's a huge deal. Repeat that to the audience. I'll make sure everybody understands this. You get the very lead right there. Walk us through it again. You got about a minute.
The vice president has a ton of power in terms of opening and counting the electoral college votes at the joint session on the 6th. That power is enumerated in the 12th Amendment of the Constitution. The Louis Gohmert lawsuit, which wanted to have effectively declared a judgment highlighting that power, was dismissed yesterday in the lower federal court, but only on standing, only on procedure, not on the merits. The merits have not been adjudicated, which means the power stands.
Boris, give us your social media so that people can follow you during the day. They got to follow you this week. You can dump Boris after Wednesday, but from between now and Wednesday, you got to be on the gram with Boris.
Well, it'd be nice if you kept me around. On the gram, Boris_Epstein, Boris_EPSHTEYN, putting out a ton of content in terms of what's happening, lawsuits, etc. Twitter @BorisEP, Parler @Boris. Instagram Boris_Epstein, Twitter @BorisEP, Parler @Boris. God bless. Rock and roll. We're going to have a huge, historic week for America.
Thank you, brother. Guy running 24/7. Remember, Madison Caulfield started this by saying he's in. On Monday, ladies and gentlemen, there was one. There was Mo Brooks, one man alone. CNN's in meltdown yesterday. There's 160 congressmen right now, and guess what? They're going to cross the 200 congressmen, I think, by Sunday. It's time for Minority Leader McCarthy to step up and say, I am Spartacus, okay? Take a short break. We'll be back in a second.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
Wow. There's a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Wow. War Room Pandemic.
To War Room Pandemic. 2 January. Year of our Lord 2021. 2020. Trust me, this is going to be big. We're going to John Eastman. We'll take it from John Eastman on the constitutional word for the president. Massive constitutional fight on Afghanistan. People understand. President Trump did not return dramatically to the nation's capital from the White House with Melania and basically shine on his New Year's Eve party, which is kind of one of his pride and joys. To come back here and actually left early, come back in the morning to go through, and this is a fight. Okay, this is a fight. He was there to and look at the 100 names. We got hitters back up there in the House that helped override the President Trump's veto on the NDA. It was unacceptable. The 20 congressmen from yesterday, or senators from yesterday, Republicans that joined in to override President Trump's veto of the NDA, and Marco Rubio, top of the list. Little Marco Rubio's done a good job on China. He's been there trying to get a little more populist. But now it's time to stand and deliver. This is a defining moment. This is what happens in Fort Turnings. This is a defining moment. People will remember this one forever. It's where you were in this fight. Because here's what folks have to understand. We are inundated 24/7 with information, leads, and new things. And one of the things we do in this Breitbart, you got to separate the wheat from the chaff in particular. Dude, just in this, ladies and gentlemen, is real. Between a really alliance between the EU and the CCP. Average, remember, it's 4 years ago. There are no conspiracies, but there are also no coincidences. This happening is going to have a major impact in your life, your children's life, your financial life. And we're going to have somebody from the new federal state of China on the second hour with Liz. Okay, turn now to one of the great thinkers about the Constitution and also a man of action. He's the president. Rudy Giuliani runs the overall. He's the president. Lawyer runs the overall operation over there. But John Eastman is the constitutional lawyer that's been putting up these lawsuits. John, first off, this argument of what's actually happening at the state basis and what happened in the Constitution that you and I have to call.
I didn't know Rumble had ads.
Could you just walk people through what the framework is for this week and why you
Why a green screen in the background, like a Windows XP fucking window?
What?
We've been arguing in court and putting these suits out there, but this is just outrageous that we're going down this path.
Sure. I mean, the U.S. Constitution very clearly assigns the power of
for
selecting
this
the
guy?
choosing electors
I thought
to
he
the
was talking
legislatures
about
of
the
the
main
state. For many
show.
years, in recent history, the legislatures just picked the presidential electors themselves. Modernly, and for about the last century or century and a half in some cases, the legislatures have said we're going to do this by popular vote, but we're going to do it in accord with election laws that we passed. Election laws require signature verification on absentee ballots. Election laws require you to prove voter ID. All of those things designed to minimize the risk of fraud in how we conduct the election. And in a number of states, and most egregiously in Georgia and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, partisan elected officials, and in some cases partisan judicial officials, ignored or altered those legislative commands and conducted the election in violation of the manner that the legislature had set out. That means the election was illegally conducted. And you don't even have to get into the number of ballots affected. It was illegally conducted. And I'll give you, I think, the most egregious example. In Georgia, they have a provision that if you have evidence of fraud or irregularities or evidence that a sufficient number of illegal ballots have been cast or legal ballots not properly counted, you can bring an election contest within 5 days after the conclusion of the recount. They did that on December 4th in Georgia. And here we are a month later, and we still don't even have a judge assigned to hear that case. And yet the governor went ahead 3 days after that challenge was brought to certify the electors, completely ignoring the statutory mechanism set out for resolving election disputes. And that means we have a failed election. And there's another.
It's not a green screen, it's software, or that, you know what I mean? The green screen software, where auto like masks your background and auto green screens your background. But I'm just saying, like, why this is a background.
In federal law,
It's a strange background.
the state is able to choose electors on the date assigned by Congress. The power to choose the electors devolves back to the legislature because they have the ultimate constitutional authority here. And we got a lot of
legislators trying not to get copyright hit for any content or producers.
They got to get permission from the courts to do anything. No, this is a power the Constitution assigns exclusively to those state legislatures, and they need to act because what we have here is massive evidence that this election was at least conducted illegally, in violation of the state statutes, but lots of evidence as well that as a result of that illegal conduct, removing checks against fraud in the absentee ballot process, that we have absentee fraud more than enough to have affected the outcome of the election. And I think it's the duty of these legislatures to fix this egregious conduct and make sure that the White House some guy that didn't get elected.
This is what the constitutional crisis is. I want to be very specific and drill down this because this is going to be historic. We are entering into one of the most important constitutional crises the country's ever had. Your theory of the case, essentially, if you did give you an expedited hearing, if you went through all this process and found other suits are just as powerful, at the end of the day, isn't what the Supreme Court is going to say? Look, I'm not a constitutional guy. Aren't they going to say, hey, John, great argument. We're not going to overturn the Biden electors. We're going to flip this whole thing back to the state legislatures, and they've got to either reaffirm, they've got to stand up. Isn't this all get back to the state legislatures, and particularly in these 5 states?
There are 2 places where it gets back to. It gets back to the state legislatures because their process was not followed, and it was deliberately not followed. This was a concerted effort to thwart the checks, the anti-fraud provisions they had put into place. So it devolved back to the state legislature. And the only other place where it devolves back to is the Congress, and particularly the Vice President, who will sit in presiding over a joint session of Congress beginning January 6th to count the ballots. And they got multiple slates of ballots from 7 states, and they've got to decide which is the ballot slate to count. I think they have that authority to make that determination on their own. It would certainly be helped immensely if the legislatures in the states look at what happened in their own states and weigh in exercising their power under the U.S. Constitution. And here's the biggest problem. We haven't had this happen. There was one minor event in 1960 out of Hawaii, but we haven't had it happen on the scale that we have now with multiple slates from multiple states since 1876. They don't understand that the power they have to exercise here is not derived from the state constitution. It's derived from the federal constitution. So restrictions on that power, like we can only meet with the permission of the governor of our state, restrictions on that power are preempted by the federal constitution. They have this power directly from the federal constitution. And it's there for a reason, because it's much easier to corrupt a single executive official than it was to corrupt the entire legislature to have an outcome. And they wanted the branch of government closest to the people, which is the legislature, the people who have the ultimate say about it. And these guys need to understand their constitutional authority and their constitutional duty to put a stop to this egregious violation of law that has occurred.
The Louis Gohmert suit is essentially saying that the Electoral Count Act of 1877 is unconstitutional. Okay, go back to the Constitution. There, the President of the Senate, the Vice President of the United States, is hardwired in. And he's actually a decision maker. It doesn't have ministerial. Is that correct? And last night, the ruling was so important because the judge didn't want to touch the merits, right? It's once again, you got no standing. Are we to assume that this is going to be a climactic battle that's going to take place this week about the very question of the constitutionality of the Electoral Count Act of 1877?
Well, I think a lot of that depends on the courage and the spine of the individuals involved. But look, I love Representative Gohmert. I think he's terrific.
Can we ask you to stay through the commercial break and bring you back? I know you're starting to swap it, but here's the reason. When you said the courage and the spine, we know Louis Gohmert's got a...
Yo, what's part of this? I'm gonna end right now.
Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy and our most fundamental freedoms. Remember, the chaos, the division, the attacks that took rights and liberties from the American people. We cannot allow that to happen again. Make an investment in our campaign, and together we can protect our freedoms and keep the White House. Thank you.
It's a lot of money.
It's this really stark example of the fact that starvation mode can't possibly mean that you just eat very little food and you fail to lose weight, and if you eat just a little bit of food, still very little, you just gain weight like crazy. I wish that would make, the UN's efforts to combat debilitating poverty much easier. You just throw someone one candy bar and like, boom, 500 pounds. That does not happen. Bikini competitors will say, as soon as they eat a candy bar, they blow up like crazy. Not sure if that's true. Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for RP Strength, and today's video is to ask the question, is starvation mode actually a myth? Or is there something to that shit? Let's find out. So what is starvation mode as is classically presented? It is the idea that when your body is bereft of adequate calories for some time, usually a long time, months, it begins to behave substantially differently. You might have a different metabolic rate, which is to say something radically lower. You might have a different level of activity, which means you're basically stapled to your chair or your sofa, and getting up seems like you're lifting the whole world. You have a different probability of fat storage versus muscle gain, which is to say that if you're in starvation mode, you don't gain any muscle, and anytime you eat food, you just go straight to fat because your body's like, holy shit, I need that to survive. Different hunger levels, which is to say radical and insane hunger. And at the very extremes of this claim, perpetuated by some people in the fitness industry, starvation mode is really treated as a discrete mode, kind of walled off from the rest of existence. And there, it's a completely different mode of metabolic operation. Sometimes people say your metabolism is broken, your metabolism is damaged. And in that mode, there's no progress that can be had in additional fat loss until that mode is exited from, until it's resolved. And thus never get into starvation mode or get out of it as soon as you get into it seems like reasonable advice. Another thing that people observe is that weight loss, no matter the calories you're taking in, they can be ultra, ultra low, begins to become impossible. And seemingly also contradictory to reality, you can be on a hypocaloric diet that has fewer calories than you need every day and still gain weight. There are many of these claims being made by people who think starvation mode is a real thing. A very discrete mode. Now, on the other end, you have evidence-based folks who claim that starvation mode is a myth. It's not a real thing. They know the literature well, and they've seen that in the scientific literature, there is no discrete cutoff for something called starvation mode. And they have a lot of really good points, more good than bad. It turns out that evidence-based folks are correct. For example, you cannot gain net total tissue in a hypocaloric diet. So if someone says, I've been eating 600 calories a day and I've been gaining weight, something really, really funky is going on. 99% of the time, they're just lying about how much they eat. The rest of the 1% of the time, some crazy body water stuff is happening. You better get to the fucking hospital sooner than later. But it's insanely unusual. And because the reality is, if you cut your calories for long enough, low enough, you will lose weight. People say starvation mode is what your body activates when you're starving, and then it prevents you from losing weight. How does that work out for people in actual famines? It doesn't. They lose weight until they become anorexic looking, and then they die. So I wish starvation mode was like a real thing, because then we wouldn't have to worry about, various peoples of countries that don't have functional economies that get enough people fed, and then they wouldn't have to worry about starvation. But mass starvation has been with us through all of human time. It's now essentially almost completely gone. Hopefully will be gone completely in the near future. But, it's this really stark example of the fact that starvation mode can't possibly mean that you just eat very little food and you fail to lose weight. And if you eat just a little bit of food, still very little, you just gain weight like crazy. I wish that would make, the UN's efforts to combat debilitating poverty much easier. You just throw someone one candy bar and like, boom, 500 pounds. But that does not happen. Bikini competitors will say, as soon as they eat a candy bar, I blow up like crazy. Not sure if that's true. However, there is a sense in which a more moderated version of starvation mode is not a myth. It really is a real thing. Something is definitely happening from super intense bouts and phases of a caloric deficit. Something that comes with a predictable agglomeration of signs. And ignoring these signs usually makes them worse and makes your chances of losing fat and retaining muscle that much lower. And we want to know about these. So what starvation mode really is the technical term for it is diet fatigue. Starvation mode is very high diet fatigue. And there are at least 6 signs that you might have it. Tonight at News at 11. Oh, wait. No, I'm just going to say it now. 6 signs. 1 is rabid hunger and cravings. How do you know when you're really hungry? When you're dieting and you have lettuce, nothing to dip it in, no ranch dressing or broccoli, and you can't stop eating it. You can't stop eating raw broccoli out of the fucking bag. So on your second bag of broccoli while watching TV that's this big, you're eating raw broccoli. You need to chew on things. You watch people on TV and they're eating and you're just salivating at it. Oh my God, those people have the best lives. They get to eat pasta.
I think this happened to me a couple times within the past, 6 months. Or I was just, I think I was more thirsty than hungry, but I was just chomping and chomping and chomping.
Your cravings are completely insane at this point. You're like a pregnant lady craving style.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna take
I was just eating anything.
a fucking graham cracker, I'm gonna dip it into ice cream, then I'm gonna put that in the microwave bin, and I'm gonna put a fucking pickle on top.
Not so much combining, but just new food, new food, new food.
But it's gonna be so good. People are like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, yes, I'm out of my fucking mind. That's what I've been trying to tell you guys. I'm not talking about like, ooh, that candy bar looks good. I'm talking about next level. About like, if that little girl with the candy bar wasn't in front of her parents and various other law agencies would be like, I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna steal my daughter. Like, I don't want to steal your daughter. Push the daughter out of the way, get the Snickers bar. You just start eating it. The cops are beating you with a baton. I don't care. Just feed me. Like, you're going to jail. Like, do you guys have food in jail? Like, yeah, we get you sandwiches. Please just take me to jail. Like, all right, there's something really up with this person. Really gnarly hunger cravings are one of the signs that you could be into such high diet fatigue that it's less than productive for you to continue in that mode. Number 2, incredibly low energy for training and movement. During my several contest preps ago, I got to a point where walking was physically difficult, just with my own body. My legs felt insanely heavy. Getting up off the couch to go to the fridge was like this Herculean movement.
Oh yeah, and right before that, I was getting lightheaded or something, and I knew if I just sat here that I wouldn't be able to make it downstairs to eat, and I would just like pass out here. It was kind of scary.
And when I got to the gym, it took me like 30 minutes of warming up to start finally feel like a fucking human. No good. Because your body's like, dude, we in real dire straits. You better have a goddamn good reason for moving around. If you don't, I'm going to make sure you sit there and do nothing. Another one, and this is a really, really big one, a massive reduction in your ability to think clearly, quickly, and deeply. Or as I like to call them, the 3 C's. No, wait. CQD. Kind of like close quarters combat, except with a D at the end. I'll put a D up your end, Scott the video guy. What is our target demographic? It's just not children, is it? It's an adult channel, I like to tell people that. If you really have serious trouble thinking clearly, quickly, and deeply, aka zombie brain, with all the other signs in the constellation, looks like your diet fatigue is really high. And this is one of these things where your boss is like, you ready for that meeting tomorrow? And you're like, meeting tomorrow? He's like, yeah. Did you forget about our meeting with facilities tomorrow? You're like, so what's our meeting about? You're like, I have no idea. I don't really know who you are, what I do at this place. He's like, oh my God. Here's a sandwich. You eat the sandwich, you're like calculating equations everywhere. You're like, my meeting, I've fully prepared. Actually, we don't need to meet because I fully took over facilities and I've engineered everything. And now we're 10 times richer. And he's like, holy shit, that sandwich really did something. An easy way to tell is this. For the average person, if they eat a big meal, they tend to be more chill and like kind of brain foggy, kind of groggy in a good way. And then like 30 minutes later, 45 minutes later, they get that real good energy feel for multiple hours after. If for you, all these other signs are here, that just after the meal, you're like, whoa, I can see the Matrix. And then 2 hours later, you're like a robot losing its power. Yeah, your diet fatigue might be really high. Like each meal is like just enough energy to, it's like having a totally empty tank in your motorcycle that you're driving, but you have like an attached gallon drum and you just kind of pour gas every now and again when your bike starts to sputter. You pour a little bit more gas, get a couple more miles on it, do that. If that's how your meals feel, yeah, diet fatigue is pretty goddamn high. Another one, and this one is huge. Consistently reduced sleep quality, especially in the following way. You wake up earlier and earlier with no alarm clock, and more nervous energy. You can't go back to sleep. Like you wake up like this, you're like, oh, I'm awake. And it's like 4:30 in the morning and you're like, you might not be hungry at that point because the cortisol level, the stress hormone level is so fucking high, you don't even feel hunger. But you're like, start thinking about maybe food or getting along with your day. And here's the big kicker. You get up because you have like that nervous energy. You're like, ooh, I'm going to do chores. But then doing the chores is insanely difficult. You have total brain fog. Physically, you can't do shit.
You're about to do it and then you start crashing. You want to just go back to sleep now.
Yeah, that sucks. And remember, over the longer term, even days, good sleep burns fat and builds muscle like crazy or supports those processes a ton. Bad sleep, shit quality, shit duration is going to make muscle retention insanely difficult and make fat loss also insanely difficult. No bueno. For me, I have multiple cutoffs of when I need to reverse out of a diet, a couple of high days of food to get the diet fatigue to drop. And for me, the last straw is 2 nights in a row of obvious, and I'm used to telling this in myself, obvious hypocalorically dependent sleep loss. If 2 nights later, I'm having bad sleep and I know it's because I'm not eating enough, back up the calories because I don't fuck with that shit. What do you get?
All right. Well, that's it. Till next time.